Hi, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland Navigation Radio,
where we
what
decide if news items from Destination D23 are destination disasters or D23 delights.
Okay. Wow.
We're going to talk about Destination D23 today. Hi, Morgan. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very excited because we have a guest for the first time on Neverland Navigation Radio.
The first time in forever.
Wow. Morgan, introduce our listeners to our guest today.
This is Andre, and Andre got to go to D23, and we are so jealous.
Andre,
as you should be. It was a very amazing experience.
Oh, that's awesome.
Had its ups, and it definitely had its downs. And
oh my gosh.
Can't wait to tell you all about it.
Yeah.
Thank
I can't
you
wait to hear about it.
for coming on and sharing your experiences with us. We're excited to hear everything. How was this your first Disney event, D23 or Destination D23?
It was. I've never gone to like a conference like this before.
Mm-hmm.
I've always waited for news like, a week later, like, oh, okay, that's new. That's cool, new attraction. But, it came up this year. Michael told me about it, and I felt bad that he never got a ticket.
Yeah, we tried to get tickets, and Andre says it was a lotto.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was first come, first serve, like normal,
Right.
Lotto.
I felt bad because...
Don't feel bad.
Well, the thing is, the day that he told me the tickets, so I'm working from home, and I'm just looking at my phone, just like, okay, it's going to come up. I finally got in. I bought my one ticket. They were like, hey, you can buy one or two tickets. I was like, okay, I'll buy one. And Michael's going to buy the other one. I bought it, closed out, and like, hey, Michael, I got my ticket. And he's like, oh, they sold out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, go back in. But
Oh, no.
it was already too late.
Yeah, that's okay.
You won the Hunger Games.
You
What
did.
are you going to do? You survived.
Yeah.
It's awesome that you got to go. What was your kind of first impression when you kind of got into the mix of the activities that they had scheduled out for you?
It was surreal. So I sent pictures where they sent us to the Contemporary, and they had a couple of memorabilia out. Like they had the Pumbaa animatronic along with the hyena costumes sitting on the side. I got pictures of it. And they also had the Han Solo and Carbonite Freeze just kind of hanging out in the middle of the hall. And
wow.
Wild.
It was wild. But that first day, which was actually Friday, was our shopping day.
Ooh.
And we had
Welcome, spend your money.
Yeah, aren't you so excited to be here?
I was basically fried. Shut up and take my money. You know?
I think we can relate to that, unfortunately. Judging by our histories, I think we would rack up quite the cart.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that first day they sat, they introduced us to a room, but we all had to go in at certain times. I had the 4 to 5 o'clock. I kind of wish I had an earlier time because it's one of those first come, first serve.
As they usually do.
Right.
We've only made 100, so good luck. And there's over 2,000.
Wow.
100.
Or it
like
was all very
amount.
exclusive. Oh yeah. There's definitely some things I kicked myself not actually picking up. Like, oh, I'll pick it up tomorrow, but it was already gone the next day.
I have a weird question for you. Okay. Have you been to a Comic-Con before?
I've been to MetroCon.
Okay, because my mom was asking if D23 was kind of like Comic-Con at all.
I think it's a little more organized than Comic-Con.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Like, the first day definitely did feel more like Comic-Con, but there were 3 shops, and you have one chance at each.
Okay.
That first day. So they're like, okay, we got 3 shops. Did you go in here? Yeah. Okay, give me your ticket. You're not allowed to go back in.
Oh my god.
Wow.
You purchase something, that's it.
And were they strict with the rules?
They were, but I could have snuck in if I wanted to. See, the perks of being a plus-size guy, what they did is they marched us in with this sort of tag, and with little 3 pulls for each shop. But my risk is so huge, they had to put 2 on there. And I was truthful with some, and I was like, okay, yeah, they had to put 2 on me, but one, they were like, oh, I got 2, she's like, just give me the 1.
Oh, nice.
But I was like, okay, I can't spend all of my hard-earned money on
Right.
all of
Right.
this.
Right. But that's
As much
cool
as I
that
would
you
cut
kind of had a
yourself
trick.
off.
You know what I mean?
Kind of had a
Yeah.
trick. So all you have to do is just eat your Wheaties 4 times a day,
Etc.
etc. Burger, steak. I am not a
Yeah.
health professional, so
I am. I think it does. That sounds like a good strategy to me. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So day 1 was shopping day. And
Day
then
1 is shopping day.
day 2 is when you start getting announcements and stuff.
oh yeah. So we have to show up early. Everything starts off at 9, and the trouble is that I started from the Coronado Springs.
Right. Oh,
And-
you stayed at Coronado.
I did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How did you like it?
I loved it.
Mhm.
My wife already was like, "We're staying here from now on, and we're doing like a week-long resort stay." And I was like, "Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
No more one-day trips and staying at the All-Star. We're spoiled now."
Yeah. Once you go moderate, once you experience, yeah,
We're-
Coronado's great.
We are bougie Disney people now.
All right. All right.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I
Yeah.
think some of their some of those moderate resorts, the theming and stuff is so beautiful, and the resort experience is so nice. I see why they retain customers with that particular offering, especially when you compare some of the moderate pricing to some of the value resorts. If it's a resort like the Coronado, I see how they make that upgrade with the stuff that they
Right. Because sometimes it's like a $210 a night. Right. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I actually, on a different podcast, I'd like to get into this with you because Michael told me you said that you liked, you're not going to go back down from moderate. And I was really surprised because I didn't see that when I've stayed, I haven't seen that much of a difference.
Oh, between value and moderate?
When it comes to the room, except for the ceiling fan, which I do think is a non-negotiable in Florida. But we have bought like a little fan to take with us to value resorts. It's a whole thing. Anyway.
Hey, that's important.
Yeah.
I think it's just the crowd control and moderate versus the
Sure.
the All-Star or anything. Nothing wrong with the All-Star or the Art of Animation. I do still love those resorts.
Yeah.
But, and this is going to sound bad, but you sort of weed out more people once you go more moderate.
Oh yeah. I definitely it can be frustrating when there's like teams of kids that are screaming all the time.
Yeah.
That happens at the All-Star a lot.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It does.
Yeah.
back to D23.
Appropriate expectations.
It's
for sure.
Yeah.
It's more, it's more like an adult resort,
Yeah.
like when you want to escape the
Sophisticated.
kids.
A
More
little more
sophisticated.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Definitely get the vibes. So you got to experience a bunch of these announcements, right? You got to be
I
there
did.
when these things were. So I have here a list of things that were announced at Destination D23.
Right. And we want to share that with you guys that might not have heard yet.
Yeah, you can pretend that we're park executives and we're going to give you some news. And then I also want to ask, how we perceive these announcements, what we feel about them,
Yeah.
how excited we are about some of the changes that they're announcing.
Some are wildly exciting.
Wild. Is there a park in particular? Is there a park
Yeah.
in particular you were thinking about?
I really think that the Animal Kingdom had the most super exciting announcements. Do you?
I think they definitely got a lot of love this year. So let's start there. Why don't we?
Let's talk about my most hated ride in all of Disney parks going away.
Wow. So
You hate dinosaurs?
No, I hate Bugs Life.
Oh, okay.
No, I love dinosaurs.
Did you see my heart just break just then?
the
Yeah.
fear, the
I love
fear.
dinosaur. I almost wore my dinosaur shirt that Jake
I
designed.
am wearing a
I
dinosaur
almost
shirt
wore-
today.
I almost wore this shirt today. And
Yeah.
then Michael was like, no, there's also a Figment thing, which we'll get to.
Oh, there is a Figment thing, right?
So this is
Yeah.
good. This is good. You're wearing dinosaur. I'm wearing Figment.
Yeah. Well, while we're here, dinosaur is gonna go extinct.
Yes, but that is
basically.
not what I was upset about. That's sad.
Right.
Although if
That's
it's for Indiana Jones, at least I'll be happy with what's coming.
Well, let's share what the
If
announcement
not,
is.
yeah, okay.
Okay, so new artwork was shared for a reimagined Dino Land with mentions of bringing Encanto and Indiana Jones to life in Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. And before I get reactions, I want to say this list was put together by Jackie Gailey over at the Diz. So we're using your list for this. So thank you for providing a list of all the news for us. What was your initial reaction, Andre, being in the room to hearing that?
You clearly love dinosaurs. So.
Indiana
I do
Jones
love
was part of this
dinosaurs,
mix.
so part of me kind of died knowing it was going away.
Yeah.
But as much as I love the ride, the land never really made sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the ride, hated the land, but I think this announcement actually made the most sense.
Yeah.
Because you already have the African pavilion, you already have the Indian, sort of South Asian pavilion. It made sense to go to South and Central America with the rainforest and the rich, diverse wildlife there.
Yeah.
Actually, you saying it like that just made it make more sense to me. So
yeah,
I appreciate that.
Totally.
I really hadn't thought about that.
The nature of those.
Yeah.
I think it definitely, aesthetics-wise, I feel like that's definitely a good fit for Animal Kingdom.
And then you're in Pandora.
And then
Pandora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like range. A park that can do it all. But when we're talking about this announcement, they had hinted that they were looking at Dino Land previously for potentially changing things up over there. Were you surprised to finally hear them say the words Indiana Jones in connection with this retheme?
That was actually shocking to me, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the same exact ride profile as the Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland.
Exactly.
So to finally have that here in Orlando, I think is pretty exciting.
This is something that I had wanted for a while, was always surprised. But last year when they talked about this, they said Moana and Encanto, right?
Right.
Or no, Zootopia.
Yeah.
Zootopia.
Yeah, Zootopia.
And that's what we thought was going to happen. So I prefer Indiana Jones. What do you think?
I think Indiana Jones, just aesthetically, probably feels like a more natural fit into that space than, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking about if they were ever imagining a Zootopia overlay for dinosaur or whatever the situation would be. But I think with it being the same ride system, I think it makes a lot of sense to have Indiana Jones in that part of the park, although there will be some who question how that fits into the theme of the animal kingdom, of course. But I think we let them do some detail storytelling. That's what they're all about. And once that starts to happen and we hear how they're planning on incorporating the story in, maybe we'll be surprised.
I can also see it being potentially problematic.
Oh, yeah?
Because you're dealing with, hey, here's this culture, let's respect it. Here's this culture, let's respect it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's this culture. By the way, there's this Western man stealing this artifact to take to a museum in the back. That I think is a weird message.
Yeah.
In there. While it makes sense because you have this this ride profile that works the same with Indiana Jones, I think that's a weird message to bring to this park. That's all about conservation. And cultural appreciation.
They'll have to rewrite the story, don't you think? Because I can't imagine that they're just going to copy the one from Disneyland.
I think we'll have to see.
You're not weighing in.
Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself because they haven't even committed to saying Indiana Jones is taking over Dino Land.
The interesting thing is the movie that just came out, the Indiana Jones movie that just came out, is Harrison Ford's last Indiana Jones movie, right?
Right.
And it also it wasn't like a box office runaway hit, which makes me surprised that they would,
Yeah,
it sounded a little open-ended when they announced it.
Okay.
It was more like, hey, here's this idea, and you had the band kind of play the dun 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 dun, but it didn't sound committal. So I think it was just to see initial fan reaction.
Oh, it would be kind of messed up if they don't, though.
If they walk it back now.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it wouldn't be. I mean, they've pitched us ideas for Dino Land before.
They sure have.
Yeah. So hey, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
But they called it Blue Sky last time when they would just say something and they're really non-committal. They called it Blue Sky. They didn't do that this year, right?
For this,
this was the closest to the Blue Sky, and the fact that Encanto is now moving to the Animal Kingdom as opposed to Magic Kingdom, like was originally pitched. I wonder what they're doing there now.
But they're still doing the Encanto photo op area in place of Brave, correct? In Magic Kingdom, that's like happening now.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Just wanted to make sure that didn't change.
Right. Well, let's move on to our other Animal Kingdom news.
Yeah.
We Ding Dong. It's Tough to Be a Bug is being replaced by a show inspired by Zootopia, and they're working on it now.
There are very few rides where I'm like, I will not go on that. And this is one of them. It's Tough to Be a Bug. So I am really happy.
Do you have strong feelings about this attraction, Andre?
I do. I actually like this ride.
Oh, you like It's Tough to Be a Bug?
I like
All
It's
right.
Tough to Be a Bug, mostly for the Hopper animatronic.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
I'm a huge animatronic fan.
Yeah.
I love just seeing how they can bring this character to life. So to see Hopper go away makes me sad, but
Yeah.
I can also understand why Disney wants to distance themselves from Hopper.
I wonder if they would... Oh, you don't think they'll move him then?
I'm saying this, I think they will move him because they're going to replace him with Clawhauser, but it's sad for me to see the Hopper animatronic go away.
Yeah. Okay. See, for me, the other aspects of it, like the smell and the roaches running beneath you, I couldn't get past that. So
Right, there you go. I think a lot of people have that same feeling about being stung and whatever they don't like the. And I have to say that animatronic probably gave me nightmares after nightmares when I was a child.
Really?
So, well, I was young.
That
And,
probably means they did a good job, right?
right. Terrified, absolutely terrified.
See,
So
it's weird because it never bothered me. Maybe because I'm old school Disney, and I remember seeing Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
oh,
and
me
they
too. I
had
hated that
effect
too.
all the
I also hated.
time.
I hated that. I hated Alien Encounter. Anytime that they tried to bring in the 3D like physical effects to try to reach out and grab you,
Yeah.
I felt my boundaries had been violated. No, I'm just kidding. I
But
just
he
didn't
loves
like it.
Muppets, you guys.
Oh, I do love Muppets.
Oh,
Hey, I'm
Muppets
glad
is a
we
classic.
didn't hear anything like Muppets being taken away.
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
Yes, I am very. Every year that goes by,
The
I
Muppets, yeah.
count my blessings
Yeah.
to push in when it comes to Muppet Vision 3D.
They were a strong presence Saturday.
Oh, really?
That's
They
great.
were. They actually helped present a couple stuff,
Right.
and they also honored the I can't remember his name, but he voiced Gonzo forever.
Oh, cool.
And it was great to see them honor that, but it was also hilarious. The Muppets had no idea who he was.
Mm. That's such a good idea.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Hey, I love when they make Muppets announcements, but I'm always afraid to open an article when something Muppets has been announced because I'm worried they're
Yeah.
gonna touch stuff that doesn't.
But
need to
they
be touched.
didn't. They didn't.
But they didn't, and that's good.
So what's replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug is a Zootopia ride
Yeah.
show, right? It's do we know if it's gonna be the same?
I think it's going to be the same format.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
From what the images showed us, it's just going to be a Clawhauser animatronic, or Hopper used to be, and the rest is 3D.
Cool that there's gonna be a animatronic
Yeah.
and that they're not just going to screens, which is Jake's pet peeve.
Well, losing an animatronic
Yeah.
for a screen is a bummer,
Right.
in my
Yeah.
opinion. I hate to see it.
At least you're getting, it sounds like a even swap.
Yeah, I am excited anytime a new animatronic is announced.
So
Yeah.
like, you're not a fan of B mode in any ride?
A V mode maybe is a necessity, and I understand. But when we go and we take some of the attractions and we swap them for new attractions, and we lose a bunch of animatronics whenever they
yeah.
go from one iteration to the other, then that always makes me sad. I always prefer to keep an animatronic than to add a screen or add a whatever the situation is.
Like what's happening with the Tiana ride happening.
With who knows?
Do we know? Do we know if
About
there's not going to be animatronics in the Tiana ride?
I think we are getting new animatronics.
We are getting animatronics, but it's not going to be
It's
as
not like
many.
200.
Yeah, no, there's not going to be a chorus line of animatronics going, "Yeah, welcome to the bayou."
It's
Yeah.
just, Splash Mountain had to go, so if we
It
lose
did.
a few animatronics, then unfortunately it is what it is at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They totally could have recycled some because
That would have been nice.
A lot of those animatronics actually came from America Sings.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it would have been cool to keep them in the parks, you mean? Or to keep them in
Maybe they
Splash
will.
Mountain.
Do we know for sure they won't? I feel like I keep cutting you off here. I'm sorry. I'm just trying
No,
to get
you're
to the mic.
fine.
Hey everyone, we're using 2 microphones. Yeah.
Morgan just likes a gangster lean every time she talks about Disney. That's all. It's cool. I can respect her style.
Yeah.
But I think there's still going to be animatronics, just not as much as Splash Mountain did.
See, I was thinking in my head that they could kind of leave that last scene with all of the animatronics and the boat, but like make it a Tiana song. You know what I mean?
I feel like that scene gave him the most problems, though.
Oh, really?
Anytime I've gone to, I'm going to name drop a channel here, TPM Vids, most of their animatronic, like, malfunctions happen in that scene.
Oh,
That's true.
all right.
Wonky eyes, people not moving at all. happens.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, there's some news from Animal Kingdom. I'm going to jump around a little bit.
Was that it for Animal Kingdom? Was that? I should be asking you.
That was it,
Okay.
as far as they announced for that.
Okay, cool. That's plenty.
We don't have a lot going on in Hollywood Studios, but we do have
Nothing, right?
Ahsoka coming to
Oh,
Star Tours. So they're going to add in some Ahsoka content.
Which seems like a natural step.
Yeah.
You know, that ride is made to be updated.
Yeah, they didn't even need to announce that, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it seemed like, okay, I know this is gonna happen.
Obviously. Yeah.
Although
yeah.
I'm a little surprised that Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, I know that's not his name, haven't been put in Star Tours yet. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, that is
odd. And they never mentioned anything about it. I think they kind of moved away from, I know Baby Yoda's name, and it's driving me crazy.
Grogu, huh?
Grogu.
It's weird they haven't added them, but they are walk-around characters now.
Right, maybe
Yeah.
that's why.
I mean, that was like sensational, right? They
Yeah.
added him and people lost their minds. People that don't even watch Mandalorian are sporting Grogu shirts because he's so cute.
He is pretty cute.
Yeah.
What can you say?
Exactly.
Have you met him yet?
No, not
me,
yet.
Me neither. Have you met Grogu?
Not in person now.
Yeah, we got Grogu. We're coming to get you.
Yeah. Add that to the calendar for next Monday.
All right. I believe this character's name is Asha, but I guess I should ask you. Do you know the character's name from Wish?
I think it is Asha.
It's Asha? Okay.
Yeah.
Asha from Disney's upcoming Wish film is coming to Epcot, Disneyland, and Disneyland Paris. I mean, this is a pretty minor announcement, but I think Wish looks really cool, so I hope it's as nice as I want it to be.
Me too.
I'm cautiously optimistic after Raya.
Yes,
Raya.
I know.
After Raya, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I'm hoping for another Disney classic. They clearly think that's what this is going to be.
Wish?
Yeah.
I think
been
that's
promoting
the
it for, like,
nostalgia
2
they're
years.
banking on.
Yeah.
You know, that classic princess movie. They're
Mhm.
trying to channel that into something new.
Sure.
I think the song is, every time I see the trailer, I think the song is really nice. I like it.
I like how the theming of the movie ties into like all the other movies.
Yeah, that's
Like
fine.
there was the Wishing Star briefly mentioned in so many other Disney movies.
Mhm.
I kind of wish they didn't announce the villain so soon.
Oh,
they?
I didn't hear it.
I won't spoil it.
Okay,
Okay.
well,
Well-
no, that's what we have. That's our job. So go ahead.
So the trailer already announced who the villain was.
Oh,
It would have been made for such a great twist because he starts off with all this hope and the last wishing star, and this final wish will be for me.
Oh.
I remember that. I saw the
The
trailer. It's
star.
all coming back to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's her dad, right?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they saved that for the
Maybe
Yeah.
they'll cut that out of the movie. You know?
maybe.
They do that sometimes.
Or maybe it's like a false reveal, like, oh, he's selfish, but the true
Mm.
bad guy is the sheep. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
He was being mind controlled. Yeah. We love a twist. All right. I've got the Hatbox Ghost is coming to Haunted Mansion in Magic Kingdom just in time for October. That's right, November 2023.
Which we've talked about a lot, but now we've got a date. We had a date.
Yeah,
Did they give us a date?
November 2023. I don't think
They
it
never
did.
gave like a definite date, like, oh, it's coming next month. What day? Next month.
Yeah. Do they know? Who knows? I'm excited for the Hatbox Ghost.
We've been excited.
November
oh my God.
is such a weird month to put it in.
It is.
Or to finish it. Maybe they were running behind or something.
Yeah. I feel like just a couple weeks earlier and you would have been in Halloween season.
Right.
Yeah.
Or when the movie came out. You know?
Hatbox Ghost was like the
main character.
yeah, huge deal. How are you excited for the Hatbox Ghost?
I am. Again, I'm a animatronic just nerd,
Right.
and I've been wanting this guy in the attraction. I kind of wish they did the Nightmare Before Christmas layover like they do in Disneyland.
Oh, tell me about it.
We talk about it
but-
all the time.
Same.
All the time.
My husband's favorite movie is Nightmare Before Christmas, and I love the Haunted Mansion. And if they ever bring that here, I will be the first in line. I'm so excited.
Last week we were talking about if there was a certain ride shut down, would that make you change your trip? Right? And I said, for Disneyland, I don't go if it's not during the couple months that they have Haunted Mansion holiday.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go to Disneyland in February.
You're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it.
But don't some people hate it when the overlay is there? Because they come to Disneyland and like, oh, the overlay is there.
Yeah.
And it's not the original. It's just like when Stitch TP'd Cinderella's castle. We all loved it, but people wanted pictures of the Stitch castle or when it was a birthday cake. You know, there's always going to be somebody upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some pictures with cranes.
Yeah,
Does that
same.
count?
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was talking about the other day. In 2016, well, it's always for the Elsa Castle. There were the cranes in
Cranes.
September.
They haven't done those lights in a minute, though.
And they're not going to because of that.
Right.
Well, the cranes are the unofficial Disney characters, really.
Right.
I love them.
Yeah.
Right up there with Figment.
I was
Yeah.
wearing a shirt with the castle with the birthday thing on it the other day when I was there for my birthday, and the person checking us in at the Swan and Dolphin gave me a hard time about it.
A hard time.
Yeah.
That cake ruined my family photo.
She like is like, okay, next, and she goes, oh no, not that castle. And I was like, okay, hi, nice to meet you too.
Warm reception for the castle cake.
She
There
had
was-
strong opinions.
So this is a tangent. There was one overlay I would have loved to see as a kid. And they had planned this, but decided not to go with it. The idea was that the main Disney characters were going on vacation and the Muppets would take over.
Oh,
And they would have overlaid a lot of the rides of like Kermit's PhilharMagic or
oh wow.
a couple other ideas. But there were so many complaints that they just decided not to go with it.
Yeah, and I think this is normally why, that's why we don't get Haunted Mansion Holiday with Nightmare Before Christmas, so that one of the parks has the original. Like, I think that's also why we're not going to get the Guardians version of Tower of Terror.
Yeah, also that would destroy the Sightland in Epcot.
Oh,
Did you know about that?
Morocco
Yes, I did.
Pavilion.
But if they left the back the same color,
That's a tough one.
you think,
I
because of
think so.
Guardians? Yeah.
I just don't think they're gonna, because now we've got a big old Guardians of the Galaxy attraction.
Yeah,
right
they're not
here
going to,
in
yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, and that's fine.
All right, I'm gonna keep it pushing. Now this relates to something that they gave you for free, which I always love. That's always great. They give you a poster for this. There's a new act and new songs coming to the Country Bear Jamboree.
Yes, in fact, I brought the poster with me.
Wow! Hey,
Oh.
if you're on the visual version of the
On
podcast,
YouTube.
on
you
the
see this.
YouTube Neverland Navigation Co. channel.
Otherwise, you get to listen to him unroll a poster.
Wow,
Very-
equally riveting.
You could just hear the quality of the paper,
Wow,
and just
cardstock.
if you got smell-o-vision, you can smell the ink.
Ah.
Mm.
Yeah, the poster doesn't really give you a big idea of what they're changing, but Andre did find out. So
I did. So they're moving away from their classic Country Bear Jamboree songs, which I do still love to this day.
Mhm.
It's one of my uncle's favorites. But now they're doing country versions of a lot of classic Disney songs. And we got to hear a preview of Bare Necessities sung
Mm.
by everyone's favorite bear who sings Blood on the Saddle.
Big Al.
Big Al.
Big Al.
All
Amazing.
right.
How was the preview?
The preview was great. So the amazing thing is that a lot of these songs are being tackled. I think all of the songs are being tackled by big name country artists over in Nashville.
That's cool.
That is cool. When I heard about this, I was joking with my family that this should be sponsored by WD-40.
Oh my gosh.
Please oil the bears.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll stop the clicking of the eyes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Do you think that's a WD-40 solution?
We'll have to ask the good people at WD-40.
Maybe they'll switch out the animatronics for A1000 figures.
Oh, wow. That's dreaming big. I'm down.
Yeah.
I was surprised, honestly, that they were touching this.
I'm surprised too. We
not
thought
because
this was
it's-
going to get shut down.
Yeah, well, not because it's sacred, but exactly just because we worried that, it's not the most popular thing anymore. It eats
And it
people
was-
on heavy days,
It was a little inappropriate.
It's definitely, compared to new Disney projects, it's
Yeah.
definitely, the content is
What's the
You mean-
line?
surprising.
You mean
The
Blood
Turn
on the
Me On?
Saddle is not Disney?
Every
Or-
guy I like turns. What is it?
Every guy who turns me on turns me down. The
Yeah.
one that gets me every time that I can't believe is embarrassed. Don't whoop little Buford.
Oh.
You
Yeah.
should shoot him instead.
I
Every time they say that, I'm like, are we at Disney World? This is insane.
I must have been a messed up kid because I laughed every single time they
It's just
say
so
that.
unbelievable. I love it.
I only
I-
looking at it now from the year we're in now. It's
Yeah.
like goggles. It's like I can't believe this is still open.
Exactly.
But I loved this attraction as a kid too. Do you remember it when it had seasons?
I don't remember the seasons.
They used to do a Christmas version, and I'm Christmas like obsessed. And they would do Christmas songs, and all the bears would be in Christmas outfits, and that was the best. But they also did a summer vacation version,
Mhm.
and then they decided that it cost too much. It wasn't that long ago that they shut it. Do you remember the Christmas version?
I don't. Did not.
You were
celebrate
alive.
Christmas.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, I was alive. I did not frequent the Country Bear Jamboree as a kid. We went, but the Country Bear Jamboree wasn't really high on our priority list.
I can't imagine.
It was
yeah.
a necessity, not to throw a pun out there, but it was an actual bare necessity every time we went because
we went every time too. Yeah,
that was my uncle's favorite ride. We
my
could
dad
not
loved
skip
it.
I used to love when she would come down from the ceiling and swing on that swing. I thought she was a movie star. I thought it was great.
So this is kind of cool.
This is kind of cool.
I'm okay
I
with this.
do suddenly remember when I was talking about the Muppets overlay, they
Mhm.
were going to take over the Country Bear Jamboree, and the idea was Miss Piggy was going to swing down.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
The elegant Miss Piggy.
Yeah, that would be the no-brainer of them redoing.
One day we could do an entire episode of Muppet Parks concepts that have been left on the cutting room floor.
Really?
Because there's so much.
I thought you were going to suggest
Yeah.
like a what if.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be
but
fun.
even more interesting is what could have been. you
I would
know?
have loved an alien encounter, but it's Gonzo.
Yeah, yeah.
I would love that. And Beaker and Dr. Honeydew trying to get all the technology to run right. I'd be down. That
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
fun. All right, I'm going to keep on moving here. We've got a ride vehicle shared for a new Avengers Campus attraction coming to Disneyland. So,
I was kind of nonplussed because
You-
I don't go to Disneyland.
Right, okay.
right?
Do you know which superhero it was about? Did they say? It didn't say on this, right?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Just curious. Right now they've got Guardians.
Can you tell we're wild for Avengers Campus?
Right now they've got the Guardians ride, they've got a Spider-Man ride, and then they've got a Doctor Strange show and a Spider-Man show. I think that's it.
The design
Okay.
combines elements from Tony Stark's time suits with Xandarian jump points and Wakandan technology.
So it's now ringing a bell. I actually had to think about it, and it seemed interesting, but it was so broad.
vague.
It was so vague that I couldn't actually get excited. I was like, okay, cool.
Okay,
Tell me more.
but you said jump points.
Mhm.
Do you think they're just going to do Guardians with a different theme?
No.
No.
Yes. It's so good.
A
It's such a
hu-
good.
But that huge building in Disneyland, that
So-
massive,
Okay.
huge box that we have
You're
in the
saying it
Epcot
won't
parking
fit.
lot, I'm saying I don't think they would build it that size. I don't know. Anything is possible with magic,
I
but
think they're gonna go more multiverse of madness angle with it. I think the idea was that they've perfected Tony Stark's time travel and just can go to any dimension.
Mhm.
So they might just go our Marvel versus the comics versus the cartoons, maybe some what if universe. I think
That'd be cool. The fans would go wild for that kind of having so many different kinds of versions of the characters being
Yeah.
represented
Yeah.
in an attraction. Fans love that kind of thing.
if I were to speculate, maybe they can do like a Star Tours type of thing where it's always different.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
that'd be cool.
Like a motion simulator.
Yeah.
Marvel simulator. That'd be
Okay,
awesome.
so it sounds like we don't really know too much about that. Okay, jumping back, with the Country Bear thing, did they give a date at all, or just
Next year.
Okay, all right. So that's pretty definitive.
Right.
I'm down with that.
I do prefer them more. I love when they give us a concrete announcement. I don't mind.
Even saying a year makes it feel more concrete.
Yeah,
Like
here's a
Indiana
ride
Jones,
vehicle. It's like,
one day we might do this.
right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I hate that. Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I like
At least give me a year.
an end to the, what is it? A light at the end of the tunnel. There
Right,
we go.
right.
Country
Sorry, I
Bears would
worked
be
today.
easier to approach because all the
Yeah.
animatronics, all the sets are already there.
Slap
Right.
it on there. Let's
Yeah.
get this going. All right, a new vague thing is a watering hole coming to Adventureland near the Pirates of the Caribbean.
What does that mean? Do we have any idea?
Trying to
Watering
remember.
hole?
It's gonna be like a little bar type of lounge type of situation.
But they
from what
already
they're
have one of
describing.
those.
Well, all right.
Like pirates.
I didn't come up with Yeah, I don't this was pretty vague. I'm excited for any additional unique food and beverage offerings around Walt Disney World.
Yes, I agree.
I
At
like
first, I thought we were
themed
talking
stuff.
about another water play area.
No, watering hole. I'm assuming like
Bar.
a little like cantina type of
Okay.
situation maybe.
Maybe it'll be fun. Well themed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they'll bring some Blue Bayou energy over from Disneyland.
Oh.
Perhaps maybe that, or I don't know. They
Maybe
could
this
go any direction.
could it be a Tiana thing that we've been hoping for?
Tiana.
Is that right? It's in the right area.
And I think this is gonna be Pirates adjacent themed.
So
right?
this brings up
Maybe.
an interesting question. Are they going to start normalizing alcoholic drinks in the Magic Kingdom now?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
I know they were doing this for special events. I had a pretty good Haunted Mansion drink and during the Christmas after hours thing that I went to last year.
That's cool.
But I always thought it was like a special event thing. But the basic rule is no alcoholic drinks. So it's
Right.
weird that they're adding
Yeah.
a bar.
Well, they said watering hole and not beering hole, so who knows?
I do think they sell beer now, though, don't they? Didn't they start recently?
I think isn't it at sit down restaurants or something?
Yes.
But not like at carts and stuff.
Yes.
I did have a drink when we went to be our guest restaurant last
There
week.
you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
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 But that was a sit down,
Yeah.
like an
Right.
exactly
Well,
room. And
A few years ago, or maybe it was 5 or 10 years ago, they weren't even doing that. Because
That's
it
true.
was Walt's rule.
Right. I honestly think with how much drinking happens at all the other parks, I don't know how much of a major disruption it would be. I think it would definitely be like a symbolic piece of news if they.
Symbolic, for
Yeah,
sure.
maybe
But
they
other
should
than
do
that,
I would cut it off in the summer.
in
I'll
the
be
summer.
honest. Yeah, hydrate yourselves, people.
Well, not only hydrate, but that's where like all of the bad guest behavior happens in the summer.
Yo,
When you
really?
get overcrowded, overheated,
Overheated.
overstimulated, people get angry. We don't need to add alcohol to the mix.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
And they
Interesting.
took away Fast Pass Plus, so people are so mad.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got to get through these. We're running out of time. There's so many announcements at Destination D23. World Celebration will open in Epcot this December, so no more walls in the front of the park theoretically.
Theoretically.
In December.
So they say.
I am glad for that. I
We are
love
too.
Me
Epcot's
too.
my favorite park, and I hated the walls.
Yeah.
It's been so hard
It's been so
to
long.
watch your baby
and
be
so
all
long.
walled up for so long. I cannot wait for the walls to come down, even if it's whatever. Just,
Lackluster.
even if it's whatever, I'm just so glad for no more walls.
Yeah.
I just how long can we do the wall thing? Speaking of behind the walls, Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, is opening October 16th, and Moana herself will begin greeting guests in her own new dedicated space on that date. So Moana got a opening date,
Yeah.
hard opening date. Journey of Water, you've seen it from the monorail, haven't you?
Yeah, I saw it last weekend.
What'd you think of the aerial view?
Not
Ariel, Moana.
It was pretty. There's jumping water.
Yeah, that's very Epcot.
Jake's been telling me.
Are you excited for this?
It'd be an interesting place to kind of take a stroll.
Yeah, that's how we feel too.
Yeah.
We're not like on over the moon about it. We get a pass holder preview in a week and a half, so we'll be broadcasting that on our YouTube channel, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll be broadcasting that.
You get to see the jumping water with us and our reactions.
Yeah, I'm actually more excited on that day to be experiencing. They announced Soarin' Over California is coming back to Epcot.
Way more excited for Soarin' Over California.
I actually am above and beyond excited to smell those oranges and all that again.
Me too.
So, did you get to experience Soarin' Over California?
I did. I do miss the orange smell, but I also like my time and space jumping paraglider that can send me to Africa and then Canada within the span of 2 seconds.
I think they're both good. I wish that they would kind of rotate, or you'd have options. Yeah. Like a mission space situation.
Exactly. I think that would be a better option than just, okay, we're going to California only. Okay, now we're going to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Anytime Disney has something that is based on one singular screen, I'm like, all right, we got to have some variety here. I should be going to Agrabah with Aladdin. I should be going to Africa and seeing the elephants. Like, I love the idea of, like what they're doing with Star Tours. You've got a box and a screen. You know, the screen you can change to make it interesting. I think that's fun. And I love that they're bringing something back that's like a throwback.
Right.
I think that's super fun.
That's what it's for, the super fans, don't you think?
Unless anybody else wants to see a film from the 90s about California. I, as someone who enjoyed it growing up a lot, I think I'm very excited for that. Also,
do you think it's bad quality, or do you think it'll? I
think it's better quality than the current one.
Oh yeah, because of the Eiffel Tower situation that they didn't have in California.
Right.
Okay.
I hope they have new footage.
Oh,
that's what I'm hoping
that
for.
Would be like reshot footage.
I would hope so.
That would be awesome. I would love that. Or even just if they restore the original. Either way, now new footage I think would actually be really exciting, because even if they just redo the flyover at the end of the park, that would be cool to have redone.
Because it will be inaccurate.
Right, but that's
I always want, every time we go on it, I'm like, okay, this isn't right anymore.
Maybe that's why they're doing it.
Maybe.
So they can update the front of Epcot in the regular film. We're on to you, Disney. Speaking of Epcot, Luminous, the Symphony of Us. They love this us pun. Harmony, us, Luminous.
I know.
Luminous, the Symphony of Us will debut at Epcot on December 5th of 2023.
I said this sounds like a combination of the word illuminations and the last two.
Yes, Harmonious.
Harmonious.
Did you get to see Harmonious?
I did see Harmonious. It was nowhere near Illuminations. I feel like they're trying to recapture that same magic they had with that, but that show was so great. How do you top that?
They threw out the globe, so
they threw it out.
Yeah.
Why even?
How do you know that?
Because so there's this Twitter account called BioReconstruct who does aerial flyovers, and sometimes they get to see some backstage.
And they show the dumpster
and stuff. But there's also a bunch of people who, distribute whatever. The internet has photos of them in the back lot of Walt Disney World being torn apart. So
oh my god.
That's tough.
I would love to see a photo of that globe in somebody's pickup truck. Like, I got the globe, and just kind of driving off with it.
It's huge. Yeah. Hey, I would like the globe. They should have asked me. I'll take it.
Right?
I'm excited for this. There are things about Harmonious that I like. I hated the barges and all of that, like everybody else did, though. So I'm hoping they can take some of the... I love just singing Disney songs in the language that story is set in. I think that was a fun idea. And I think that was very appropriate for Epcot.
Yeah.
So maybe if they keep that aspect and take away the barges and do some other type of visual effects, maybe I would like it. Did they share what the concept of this was at all?
No, not really. I mean, they gave us the name, but that was it. And I see where you're coming with the barges. While it looks good at like the front of the park, it wasn't a 360 view. So if you
Right.
happen to be in like Canada or France, then it's an odd angle and you won't see everything.
Yes,
So
but what even did it for me beyond their nighttime viewing
During
was
the day, yeah.
during the day, because they lied to us and they told us that they were going to turn them into water fountains that were beautiful during the day, and that never happened. I don't.
They just sat there. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just think they probably had some kind of issue that they weren't expecting with that water fountain situation, so they just kind of
I liked the interim show.
Epcot Forever.
Yeah.
As an
Yeah.
Epcot fan, of course I liked Epcot Forever.
Yeah.
I see why they don't want to do that every night,
Sure.
because some 5-year-old is like, who's veggie, fruit,
Right.
which
Right.
is fine.
It was kind of like made for me. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I'm excited that Epcot's getting a new show, though. I would love it if they would put one in Animal Kingdom, but I'll take one at Epcot.
I know. All the show announcements last year made me think we would get more show announcements this year. Last year we were like, oh, you announced 4 nighttime shows at Disneyland, none for us.
Right. Well,
I thought maybe we'd get
Yeah.
one this year.
right. Hey, sticking to Epcot, Disney's working with Chevrolet to completely reimagine Test Track, and it will be inspired by the original World of Motion.
I am the most excited about this.
Me
Oh, yeah?
too.
With my love of Epcot, like I love the
Edutainment.
edutainment aspect. I never got to ride World of Motion,
Oh.
but I listen to podcasts and watch the old shows, and I was like, oh, this would have been interesting. So to
Yeah, it was a good ride.
I'm in the same boat. Or car.
Yeah.
Did you get to ride World of Motion?
I did. I hardly remember it because I was so young.
Are
but
you stoked like a wheel? Wait, no, that's
that works?
Sure. Are you excited?
Spoked.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yes, I'm very excited. I don't really get it. I don't get what they're saying.
Me neither.
So it's hard for me to get super excited because I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying.
I hope what it means is they're trying to like interject some of that story of the history of transportation.
It have to be, huh?
I think that's what they're doing because that's what's missing in the current Test Track. They had a little bit of it in the first iteration,
Right.
where you were basically a tester.
Yeah.
And
Test
techno
track
music.
dummy.
I liked the first version better than the current version.
The current version is like some weird silent Tron movie that you're in.
Exactly.
It
100%
definitely
what I
gives
think.
me Tron vibes.
Yeah,
for
and there's
sure.
no story.
There's absolutely no story. Like, hey,
Yeah.
design a car. Now
Yeah.
you're in the car. Now you're out of the car.
When I came back and I realized that Test Track was different from the last time that I had ridden it, and I rode it again, I was filled with disappointment because I thought it looked
Yes.
really cool. I
Right.
thought it looked
Yeah.
beautiful.
Sure.
But I just loved the versatility of the anti-lock brake test.
I
the
want
hot
a
room,
story.
the cold room.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
a fun story.
Yeah, I thought it really
Or
did
it was
something
a story.
different.
It wasn't really fun, but it was a story. I mean, it was a fun ride. It wasn't a fun.
It was a test.
Yeah, it was
It's
just
in the
testing
name.
their
It's
car.
in
Yeah.
the name.
The pre-show was fun. They were like, okay, we're gonna do this test, and then they're like, what do you want to do for the 6th test or whatever? And she's like, I don't know, just surprise me. And they do tap, and it goes like and shows that you're gonna do a crash. You know, do you remember that?
It's all coming
Yeah.
back to me.
Yeah.
The more that
I
you
remember
say
And
it.
it's like, we're gonna crash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, build up the hype.
Yeah, what a fun. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Cheeky, fun.
There was more like excitement, more story. More,
Yeah. There's no pre-show now.
yeah. Walk in, design your car.
Yeah.
Oh, the kiosk doesn't work.
Oh, 6 of you have to design one car. I hope you all get along.
You know who
You
I
have
hope
more than one kid? Oh my god.
that sucks. We're leaving Epcot and we're going to the Bahamas where there's going to be.
So we're leaving Spaceship Earth alone too, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mary Poppins.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, actually, let me finish up some Epcot business really quick. Figment is meeting and greeting at the Imagination Pavilion in Epcot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was such an awkward looking costume.
Oh, you got to see the costume?
He
Is it
actually
like the-
printed out in stage, and it's not like the project
not
out there.
Cutesy then.
No,
It's the original,
it's the original
but
design.
he's big, of course.
He's
Does he blink?
No,
Okay.
He's
static
right.
face.
Not articulated, but he does resemble like the animatronic Figment that we're used to seeing, but he is quite big and his eyes are kind of scary. So
They're having issues with his eyes, I guess.
yeah, and he does trip. We've seen. I saw
Purposefully?
on his first day out, he fell down twice.
Oh my god.
So that's sad.
I'm actually
I thought you meant purposefully.
I'm not sure how the actor is supposed to see out of that costume because his head is like 4 feet above him, or I'm exaggerating, but
Right.
you're basically seeing out the neck and
Yeah. I'm sure they'll
Yeah.
work out the kinks. But it's interesting. You know, we've got a movie in the works for Figment.
Right. I always
I
forget.
did not hear that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen's production company. They're making a Figment movie.
I don't know how to feel about this.
I know. Same.
Well,
Same.
here we go.
You know what? I think my number one emotion is nervous.
Same.
Yeah. Is
They've already messed it up.
Seth Rogen voicing Figment?
I don't think so.
Because
I don't
I
know.
will write.
He'll
right now.
probably. I'm betting my money he's the Dream Finder because, bigger dude with a beard. How creative.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Yeah, sure.
It's not the same
We'll
voice,
see.
but it works.
All right. I think we're done in Epcot.
Okay.
I think we've done it, and I think we are leaving now. Goodbye, Epcot. Auf Wiedersehen. Here's a new island in the Bahamas. We're gonna welcome guests in 2024. It's Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. What a title!
As a Disney Cruise Line fanatic, I am excited for this.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you ever taken a Disney cruise?
I
Andre?
have not taken a Disney cruise.
Me
I'm still
neither.
trying to convince my wife to take it.
Oh,
Period.
we'll convince her.
Oh.
Just bring her over.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Will
we went on our first one like 2 years ago, and then got addicted. It's so amazing.
She's talked me into it. I
Yeah,
really want to
yeah.
do one. Yeah.
We're going. I'll be on one in 2 weeks.
So
Another.
just to clarify, it's not Disney. She loves Disney,
Mhm.
and she wants to do a Disney trip, every year now. It's the sea she doesn't like.
Yeah,
Mm.
unless she has like a real problem with seasickness, it shouldn't be an issue. I'll talk to her.
Morgan is gonna get
People that get lightly
this done.
seasick, like if you're on a
Mhm.
smaller boat, don't feel that at all on a big boat that like the Disney boats, because they barely move. I mean, I'm sorry, they move. You don't feel them moving because of the stabilizers.
I think it's more of what's underneath the surface she
Okay,
doesn't know.
that's why I can't get my brother on, and I will never be able to get my brother on because he won't do like. He has to be able to escape a situation to feel comfortable enough to do it, and he
Mhm.
doesn't feel like he could escape if something went wrong on a boat. So I can't get him on one. So yes, if that's they're amazing though. The Disney Cruise Line.
To be fair, she did say that maybe one day she would be willing to try it because she
Oh.
knows I like it.
Yeah.
So maybe
Wow, there's hope.
if we
Stay
tag team and
close. yeah. It like we do the cruises, the Disney cruises that stay pretty close to Florida. So
Yeah.
if that makes you feel better, they've got so many safety precautions. I get nervous on airplanes and all kinds of stuff, but not on this.
That's good to know.
But super, super excited about the new island because the one that they have now, their private island, is called Castaway Key or Castaway Cay, depending. That's a tomato thing. And it's gorgeous, and it's like exactly what you would expect Disney to create of a beachy tropical paradise. But it gets a little overcrowded. So they bought another island so that like if they've got 4 boats out in the Caribbean, which happens sometimes, that you don't have multiple boats at the same island.
Oh, interesting.
Super excited for that
Wow.
because sometimes from what I hear, it can be very hard to like find a good spot. They do stuff like where you would go snorkeling. I always get confused with scuba diving, but it's snorkeling. They've sunk like a Dumbo ride car, and they've sunk like a Mickey statue so you can see stuff like that. And then they've built in like this big water slide that you slide into the ocean.
That's
Very
cool.
Disney fun, like perfect things.
I hope the energy for this is going to be the same. And they've got exciting news as well about the Singapore thing that they're doing. In Singapore, they've got a new ship coming. It'll be named the Disney Adventure, and it'll be their biggest adventure yet. So it's just a very vague cruise ship announcement that there's a Singapore Disney Cruise Line ship coming.
Sure. My family has taken bets on what the new names of the ships will be, and my mom won.
Oh,
Again, she won what was going to be on the treasure too. Remember?
she won again.
Again. That's 3 for 3.
Oh my! So she
Wow.
guessed the name of or she guessed the characters. Right?
She guessed the interior character for the treasure and which one was going to be on the outside of the boat, and she guessed the name of this new boat.
Well, points for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Honestly, that's
the thing that I didn't know until I saw this was that it's going to be based out of Singapore, and I hope that it gets a little bit of time out of Florida, because a flight to Singapore is like $1,500 a person. So you've got to add that onto your family vacation.
I'm not going. $1,500 just for the flight.
Yeah.
I will take it via YouTube.
And,
Same.
and that flight for us
Same.
is like crazy long, like more than a day.
I'm out. You talked me out of it. out of it.
Well, when we go to the Asia Disneys, we could just lump them together. But
I see.
Yeah,
this is you talking me.
See, you had me at Disney and lost me at 1,500.
I know. Well, it's going to be a down the road trip.
Gotcha. I'll start seeing.
We're going to do Shanghai, and we're going to do Tokyo, and we're going to do Hong Kong, and we're going to do this boat.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
20 years. Let's make a pact.
Ooh, 20 years. We could do that.
Wow.
I've got a piggy bank.
Yeah.
All right. D24, D23. Nope. 2024. I confused the number with a letter. Can you believe? 2024's D23 Expo, to be fair, that is confusing, kicks off on August 9th, 2024, and it's going to be at different locations around Anaheim, including Disneyland Resort. So that'll be the next time you hear announcements. And then I've got this one last announcement here for Magic Kingdom saying there's an expansion beyond Big Thunder Mountain that we heard about at D23. And it's going to be the biggest expansion they've done in Magic Kingdom. Did they share any?
So bigger than New Fantasyland, it's got to be what that means.
Yeah.
There was no new announcement, but I think they may be expanding on what they shared last year.
Right.
Where
Encanto.
They're going to build past Big Thunder Mountain and wrap around back into Haunted Mansion.
But they didn't give us an idea of theming.
No, because they migrated Encanto over to Animal Kingdom.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to go back there.
They also had Coco and Villains back there as Blue Sky concept art last time. So now this time around, there was no new concept art.
They did hint that it will tie bigger into Haunted Mansion, so I'm hoping Villains will have a bigger part.
Right.
That makes sense.
That does make sense. Villains into Haunted Mansion.
And Villains, is something that seems super popular for ages.
Yeah.
And, kind of changeable. Don't you think?
What do you mean changeable?
You could add a new restaurant or bathroom or ride when you get a new villain that's super popular.
Yeah, or even as a walk-around character in the Villains Land or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, definitely, because there are always villains.
I was going to say, aren't they kind of getting away from villains?
That's what they say.
Maybe with the new Wish movie, they'll get back to villains. Because I think that was a major complaint, was that there's no villain, it's just a life lesson. Oh, family trauma, cool.
Right.
But you don't have your classic Gaston or your Claytons or your Maleficent. And people love the classic villains. I don't think we should get away from that.
I agree.
I love
Hades. I love Hades.
You also have to give it up for the villains because they always get the best song.
Exactly.
I love a villain song in these movies. Be prepared, poor unfortunate souls.
Oh yeah,
I mean, we're talking about
Souls is great.
The creme de la creme.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would love for them to incorporate villains into the park, and if it ends up being a Villains Land or whatever, or villains are part of that expansion, I would certainly be happy to see it, and it would be the culmination of decades of fan chatter about how they want, villains representation in the parks.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what I'll ask: which announcement were you most excited about?
That's a tie between the Animal Kingdom and Test Track.
Yeah, Test Track with the World of Motion. That definitely was. That one caught me off guard, and I was so overjoyed to hear that they were going into Test Track again so soon after doing a complete shakeup of it, I was surprised but delighted. So definitely see how that makes finals. Morgan, what were you most excited by?
I agree with Animal Kingdom. Both of those announcements really excite me. I need to watch Zootopia again. I've only
we
seen
all
it
need
once.
to watch Zootopia again after
Yeah.
this Destination D23 for sure.
Yeah. But I know it'll be better than Bug's Life for me.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree.
I just have been sad in Dino Land, not because of Dinosaur, which I love, but the other area is so sad. It's just sad.
Yeah.
It's a concrete, some picnic tables, some cast members that are running the what's it called? Like the
Triceratops spin.
well, no, the like
Carnival games.
that I feel like they're bored. Nobody's over there.
It's
I
a
don't
weird
know.
It
part of
feels
the
like
park.
they went for a concept which sounded good at first, but then they built it and were like, and then
Mm.
kind of walked away from it.
I
Where it
was confused as a kid. Why are we on the parking lot concrete? I didn't understand.
It was Dinosaur meets the state fair that comes to town, which is an odd combo, to be sure.
It is, and if you don't know the story, then it's not cohesive.
And if you're
Yeah.
used to like immaculate Disney theming, it just feels weird to be in a parking
Well, and
lot.
Jake told me this was a major like budget cut situation.
It could be, and I think it was also because they wanted to make it different than what Universal was doing. Since
Mhm.
they already had Jurassic Park,
Right.
they couldn't exactly do the natural dinosaur setting anymore, because then it's the exact same idea.
Right.
Yeah,
I think they might have dropped the ball with the whole state fair idea with dinosaurs.
The execution of that has always been dumbfounding to me.
it feels cheap.
But I have to say, I am already beginning to mourn the loss of Dinosaur.
I know,
Yeah.
A great attraction.
and actually,
about to
I
go
do love
extinct.
that shop.
Oh, the store
Yeah,
there at
the
the
tourist
exit.
trap shop.
I do too.
I just like it. There's a train going around the ceiling.
I'll be sad when that goes, but I am so excited for Epcot being finished in the front.
Oh,
That's
yes.
one of my major takeaways from all of this. And of course, I am excited. I'm sorry, I know you enjoyed the animatronic, but to see the childhood trauma act, it's tough to be a bug finally coming to a judicial conclusion.
Yeah,
But honestly, I think with these announcements, I came out with a lot more excitement from this than previous years, just because I think getting a light at the end of the tunnel for the Epcot walls coming down,
Yeah.
hearing
Mhm.
some of these more short-term improvements or conclusions of other projects, I think it just gives me hope that we're like getting stuff done and
For
things are
real.
changing, and I'm just excited to have that energy back as opposed to wait 5 years
Yeah.
and we'll reopen the park.
the fact that they mentioned the Behind the Thunder thing again makes me feel more confident that they're actually going to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like they were a little more focused this year. Now that they're not worried about power struggles and the executives, they can actually
Mhm.
create more. And I feel like they really brought the excitement back to
Yeah.
us fans.
It's great to hear that you felt that way being at the event, because I could easily see how if it was gonna fizzle, then you would feel it fizzle. But the fact that you got the excitement from it, I think, is an exciting thing.
How is seeing all of these like Disney celebrities? I would have been fangirling like crazy.
Yeah.
So I feel like I embarrassed myself in front of the granddaughter of Works.
Oh,
I forgot to bring the book. I did share a picture, but I have a signed copy from her book, and I got to talk to her. But it also felt like, "Hi, I'm your biggest fan," and I'd like robots,
been
and then
the
I
same.
ran.
oh.
Uh,
So
Hold
I
on.
wish I got to talk to her more, but she seems so down to earth.
really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
That's
she
amazing.
walked up stage with this rubber hand that they used to mold Lincoln's hand, which actually I think was her dad's mold,
Oh wow.
but she stole it and then will just prank her teachers with it. Like, oh, let me give you a hand. And you just kind of clap with it. She just shared this funny story with
Oh
us.
wow.
I love that.
Do
That's
we have
so
time for
kooky.
his? He said he's got a funny story.
Oh, we can't not have the funny story.
So, Disney, please do not sue me. I don't have that much. But on Sunday, and apparently they do this every year, they have a segment called Weird Disney,
Okay.
where they tell us stories that they normally don't want to the public to know, but this story was so hilarious, I can't not share it. So in Disneyland on New Year's, they had this bright idea to have the New Year's baby fly from the Matterhorn to the castle. Trouble was, you can't exactly fly a baby, and
Right.
they didn't have a costume ready. So they asked, "Who is
What's
the
a
most?"
New Year's baby? Is that a thing?
It's just it's just
So- You know how the old year is like the old man, and the
Yeah.
New Year is like the baby
Okay.
with the sash that shows the new year.
All right.
So they wanted like the New Year's here. Here's
Okay.
the New Year's baby
Okay,
coming
okay.
in.
Okay.
New Year's branding has changed. We've shied away from the baby.
We did.
We've moved into the ball.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the New Year's baby
It was
is
a real thing. I'm not a creep.
It's a
No,
thing.
yeah.
It's not fictitious.
Okay. All right.
So the idea was to have the New Year's baby fly in. They didn't have that costume or anything, so they asked themselves, "Who is the most shaped like a baby at a distance?"
Mm-hmm.
Basically looking for a heavyset man. And they had an Imagineer there who claimed the fame was that he used to skate with this famous skater from back in the day, and just this big brassy guy who probably chain smoked and had this, oh yeah, back in the day, I used to skate with you.
I'm
So-
picturing the baby from Who Framed Roger
Yeah.
Rabbit with the cigar.
Yeah.
Pretty much that same energy, the way they
All
described
right.
it. So they walked up to him and say, "Hey, we need the New Year's baby. Do you want to do this job?" Back in the day, I used to skate with. We know who you used to skate with. Would you be willing to do this job? And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, I could totally do it." So they New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, they put a diaper on him. They put wings on the back, or they put a satchel, I think. They put a trench coat over him and marched him to the Matterhorn.
Oh my god.
They took him to the backstage area, walked him upstairs. They opened the hatch, and that's when he finally saw what he had to do. The zip line to the castle, and it's
The
30 feet up in the air.
Wow.
And he looks down, looks back at his fellow Imagineers, and goes, "I don't want to do it anymore." And they were like, "What? I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." Like he's getting, just panicky.
Yeah.
But it's 5 minutes till he's supposed to zip line over. So they radio over like, "Hey, he doesn't want to do the job anymore." It's like, "What are you talking about? He doesn't want to do it." He's like fighting. In the background, you hear, "I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." And the guy waits on the radio for like 5 seconds and goes, "Put the harness on him and push him out." We weren't allowed to record at all, but they showed us a footage of this poor man going down a zip line just flailing his limbs.
Oh my god.
And they said that when he went down, he was pixie dusting the crowd with his choicest swear words the entire way down.
Oh my god.
And what a weird thing to want to do anyway.
To volunteer and then on the way down.
All these things are weird. Okay, let's get a baby. What?
It was a thing back in the day. I guess it
Alright.
doesn't make sense now, but
I
Maybe
feel like
it made a lot of sense. Yeah.
I feel like this is a prime example of something for a couple reasons. The lack of pre-thought being one of them that Disney would never do now, but I'm so glad the story exists.
Yeah.
Because it's such a funny image to me that I'm glad it's out there.
it is forever burned in my brain of this grown man flailing his limbs and twirling all kinds of around, just not graceful at all.
Mhm. But he got through it.
Unwillingly.
He lived. Yeah. Wild.
What a baby. Thank you so much for sharing your stories of going and attending the event with us and your first-hand knowledge. We really appreciate
Yeah.
all of the
Glad to be here. I'm so glad you invited me here, and the event was fun. I definitely would do it again. I think I might plan it out a little better, though.
Oh.
Okay.
I was just physically drained by Sunday, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and just
Yeah.
falling asleep.
Sure.
I could see it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you know. Now you know. And
Yeah.
now you've shared with us, and we really appreciate it. And Morgan, if they want more of the Neverland Navigation content, where should they go?
Yeah. We're a bunch of places. You can find us on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook at Neverland Navco.
Right? Or you can find us online at neverlandnavigation.co. That's our website.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can visit us on Etsy at the Neverland Navigation Shop, where there are custom t-shirt orders and fun park-inspired designs on there as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Andre, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
And until next time, we'll see you on
our next adventure.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.